What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the I Needed Sports podcast. Like I said last episode, man, on a business trip for work, but y'all gonna get this podcast regardless from wherever, whenever. Promise y'all we're gonna stick to the regular schedule program and get y'all 2 episodes this week. So that's what we're gonna do because I never let down on a promise. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
at another different location tonight, but filming this a little late. But like I said, we're gonna get this podcast in. Today we're gonna be touching on week 4 college football, making a few picks there. Week 3 of the NFL. Just to give y'all a little recap on last week. Last week just stayed away from college because college football kind of just been crazy these first couple weeks. But went with some NFL picks. Had the Chiefs -3. They were on set. They were set to cover, and then Justin Herbert with fractured ribs just moves down the field, converted like 3 4 downs, throws a touchdown. It was a P. So they only won by 3 points, 27-24. Then the Bengals, I had them -6.5. Jamar Chase over 77.5 yards. We already know how that went. Shout out to you Cowboys fans. Y'all got me this week. And I bet the under on the Chiefs Chargers game as well. That hit, which I figured because that's always a tough ass game. Chargers usually their defense knows exactly what we want to do, so they're usually good at kind of slowing us down, and then vice versa on the other side of the ball. Which I was actually really impressed with how our defense played last week and shut down Herbert in that second half, which I don't think we're getting enough credit for. And then my dog Ken, he rolled with his boys Texans +10. They covered, still took an L. I didn't really get to see that game, so we'll talk about that a little bit when we move on to the NFL and picks for this week. But yeah, man, let's get into this college slate. I'm stay away from single games, but I'll tell y'all where I'm leaning for this week. So last week I didn't make these picks public, but I was just testing the waters. Um, I just bet on USC just to see because they've been playing really well. They
Yeah.
blew out I want to say I think it was Fresno State or something 45-17. They've been covering the spread in every game. Lincoln Riley's got that offense moving. Again, it's the week Pac-12, so I'm kind of willing to bet on them week in and week out. And so if they somehow do make it to college football playoff, then I'm gonna stay away from that because we know how Lincoln Riley is the college football playoff. But this week they got Oregon State, their away game. They got -6.5. If I had to lean one way, I would take the -6.5. They've been winning every game by multiple touchdowns. I know it's probably going to be a hostile environment. Both teams are 3-0, but I think Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley company they'll be ready to play and they can cover that easy. Um, you have anything for this game, or have you been keeping up with USC? What you think about them?
Nah, I've definitely been keeping up USC. They definitely, like you've been saying, like they've been hitting over on their spread for a while now. Um I'm staying away from college football this week again, but if I did have to pick a game, I definitely pick USC. I
Okay.
think I think like you said that offense is a well-oiled machine. Lincoln, he got them guys balling out there. Caleb Williams, he's balling out there. Um, I don't see him stopping anytime soon. Definitely not against Oregon State. So
And then next up, I'm gonna go with the surprise team of the year in college football. Them Kansas boys, Kansas Jayhawks 3-0. They've already hit their over for the season. They had over 2.5 wins. They won their first 3 games. So if you bet on their over total, shout out to you, man. You saw into the future something nobody else seen. That offense is balling. Leopold has them guys running everything, no huddle spread, and they're just moving the ball down the field relentlessly. McDaniel's at QB, dual threat. I mean, last week he was looking like damn Lamar Jackson out there versus U of H. They had no answer for him. Game went into rain delay. They came back. They still had no answer for him. And to walk into Houston, who was and maybe still is considered the AAC favorite to win it all in that conference this year, and go into their home field and beat them by I think it was 48-30. That that was a noise maker right there. Kind of put the nation on notice, like, hey, maybe we do gotta take Kansas a little serious because first game they beat Tennessee Tech, FCS school, and then week two they win a overtime thriller versus West Virginia, 1-0 in conference play. But then Houston, who was ranked in the top 25 to start the year, and going there, JR boys putting teams on notice. So I'm gonna have to roll with my guys here, and I'm actually gonna throw all these in a parlay. I got Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma, and Michigan all in a parlay, plus 157. Um, Michigan, that should be an easy dub for them. Them boys. I don't know if they'll. It's always a toss up, when they get to the Ohio State game at the end of the year. Harbaugh finally got his first win last year, so I'm still not just confident to say they'll win that. But as far as the rest of their schedule goes throughout the year for conference play, I think Michigan should just run through the whole Big Ten, no problems. Um, then UT, man, like you said, that defense, they've been doing their thing. UTSA put up a fight to start off with. I figured they would just because they're the underdog. They come in there playing hard, but when the going got tough, UT defense shut everything
Right
down. They've
now.
been playing lights out, man. And can you give us an update? I don't know. Is I know yours is still out, but is Card he looking better? He dealing any better with that ankle, or how's he looking?
I mean, he was looking okay. I mean, he still you can tell like he could he still got
A little ginger there.
a little ginger, but other than that, he looked all right. So hopefully, we just keep on winning games and I mean whoever we face probably be OU, but whoever we face, that championship game, it'll be a good one. So we'll see.
Yeah, and them OU boys, I finally got to sit down and watch one of their games this year. They played Nebraska last year. It was funny because I mean not last year, last week. But it's funny because people were calling Nebraska the dog of the week, like they just fired Scott Frost. They're underdogs. Look out for upset. They start off 7-0, and everybody's tweeting Nebraska, watch out! Like they're fired up. The crowd's going crazy, and then OU goes on to score like 35 unanswered points. And then it's right back to the original tweets like, dang, is Scott Frost still out there? Like, what is Nebraska doing? I don't know what's wrong with their program. What was once a powerhouse program in like the 90s and all
90s,
that, it's long gone. I
yeah.
don't know who they'll get back in there or who they're gonna interview for a head coach position or who would even want to take the job as of right now, but things aren't looking good. Venables has that OU defense playing really well, so I'm excited to see the Red River matchup coming in a few weeks between UT and Oklahoma.
I'm
We were
excited.
just discussing before we started the podcast. It probably won't be a high scoring game like years past. It's probably just gonna be a defensive battle, and whoever is able to get a touchdown here or there, or create a couple turnovers, probably ends up winning that game. We'll have an in house bet on that game, I'm sure, because
For
that's the
sure.
rivalry.
For
But
sure.
yeah, OU looks good, so I threw them in the parlay. UT looks good, threw them in. And like I said, Kansas, they got Duke this week. 2-3-0 blue blood programs in college football. Nah, blue blood college basketball programs, but man, their football team's looking good right now. There, people in Kansas are trying to call for college game day to come down there for that game, but they didn't choose it. So maybe we win this one and win another one or so. Maybe then they'll have to force like, hey, we got to go to Kansas for a college game
Okay.
day. But I will say, expect Lawrence to be packed out this weekend. Coming off that win at UH, then fans probably have something to be excited about for the first time since '07 when they went to the Orange Bowl. So it's going to be a loud stadium. I expect Kansas, to keep rolling how they're rolling. Like I said, Leopold has them boys hitting on all cylinders right now. But that being said, didn't want to touch too much on college because we are still kind of staying away from it, just kind of filling things out
Uh,
because
I want to touch on one game. You might not like this one. I want to touch on
Okay,
one game.
what's up?
I'm not betting on no games, no college football games this week. But watch out for that OU and Kansas State game. Cause for some odd reason,
They always play them tough.
I always play. It is like no matter where it's at. It can be in Kansas. It can be in Oklahoma. No matter where it's at, they always play y'all tough for some odd reason. So hey, I'm not like I said, I'm not betting on no game this week. But hey, if you want to go out there and you want to bet on that plus 12 and a half, I wouldn't be mad at it because from these past couple years, for some odd reason, like I've been saying, they always play y'all tough. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, they do. But like I said, I like what I saw this past week in Venables. I don't know, what he said in that locker room, but you could just tell it's a whole different attitude on that defense. They're
Yeah,
flying around, sagging the quarterback, getting pressure like nobody's business. So I'm betting with them, rolling with him. Um, even on the broadcast on Fox, they're saying like dang, like this is kind of like even when Lincoln Riley brought in his defensive coordinator a couple years ago, and the defense was supposed to change for OU, and it still didn't really change. No, this one looks really different. Like they're literally flying to the ball and they're hitting with some power. So
I'm
Kent
glad,
State might
man.
keep it close a little bit. Could spring on the plus 12 and a half, but that's why I didn't bet the spread. I just put them ML in the parlay. I think they'll pull it out at home. They know they need to handle business to stay alive and hopefully make it to a college football playoff. And I don't see them losing until maybe playing UT. So
Yeah, they definitely won't lose that game. It'll be. I think it might be a little tight one.
yeah,
They definitely won't lose.
no, look, now they lose because definitely not gonna win.
I'm not gonna let it go.
Not gonna win. But getting into this week 3 NFL slate, man, got a lot of picks for y'all. We'll start with the. I don't think we have any picks for this game, but we'll talk about it a little bit. Thursday night football, kind of a go from a premier matchup last week for the premiere of Thursday Night Football on Prime Video to now kind of a dud. Got Mitchell Trubisky versus Jacoby Brissett. Not exactly the star-studded matchup people were hoping for. They got Cleveland -4.5, the home favorite. Honestly, if I had to make a pick, I'd probably go Pittsburgh plus 4.5. Division game. They're coming off a bad loss versus New England, a game they could have easily won, and that offense just wasn't hitting on all cylinders. Think Tomlin's gonna have them boys ready to play. As you know, he doesn't miss the playoffs. Defense still looks pretty good, even though TJ Watt is unfortunately out with that torn pec right now. But plus 4.5, I would take them. And Cleveland, they might try to bounce back a little bit or have a little bit more fire after blowing that game this past weekend versus Joe Flacco. But
No,
Jacoby Brissett versus a Mike Tomlin defense, I'm gonna take Mike Tomlin defense
I'm,
personally. So yeah, what you feel about that game?
I'm with you. I'm definitely taking that Steelers over Browns. I just feel like they have a better team right now. But I want them to see. Well, I'm kind of biased because I got him in fantasy, but I want to see him get Najee going, man. Get him go
Yeah,
out there going because he hasn't really done much, and that offensive line is atrocious. Offensive line is probably
terrible.
it's bottom five in the league right now. So yeah, but I would like to see them get Najee going.
Yeah, man, I feel bad because a lot of people this year in fantasy took Najee in like a first round running back position, if not second round pick. And so far, he has not produced. But like I said, that line is not blocking well whatsoever. And then it doesn't help that you got Mitchell Trubisky, so he's not exactly putting a threat or bringing a threat to the passing game. So defenses don't really have to respect that. So they can still load up the box and get to him in the backfield. So hopefully he is able to turn that around. Najee's was great talent coming out of Alabama. I remember watching his high school highlights. It looked like a man amongst boys back then. I'm
Mm-hmm.
rooting for him. He's really a freak of nature because I believe
Yes.
it was that week 1 game. I don't know if you saw how he got rolled up on during one of the tackles. But it looked like the way he got tackled, he was going to be out for a long time, and he ended up coming back in the game. He got rolled up on, and his leg completely, his body
I think
bent
it's
backward over his leg, and then he just jogged
smashed.
off the field like it wasn't nothing. I was like, man, he's a tough one for sure. So hopefully, Pittsburgh can get that line in order. And but tomorrow, I don't even know if I'll tune into the game because it's football, but it's not a game that I'm just excited to watch. But who knows? Maybe it'll turn out to be one of the better games of the week, knowing how crazy the NFL has been to start. But next game, I'll pass to you because these are your boys, man. Texans versus Bears. This, do you guys finally get a win, or what you think? They got Chicago as 2.5 favorites, the home dogs. So how you feel about your Texas, man? I know the season hasn't started how you would have liked, but let us know about your boys.
I don't feel good about it at all. I mean, it's gonna be a defensive game because, like man, like I said, our defense, man, is really fucking good this year. It's really really good. Everybody's flying around, but it's just like, damn, man. Davis Mills has played mediocre quarterback football for the past like
I was
what?
gonna say since like the second half of the Colts game, the offense
Yes,
really hasn't done anything, has it?
no, at all. So, but basically, about for like 5 or 6, if you want to count the overtime, so 5 or 6 quarters, he's been mediocre. It's been mediocre quarterback play from him, and it's just sickening. So, it's just like, man, if we gonna tank, might as well just tank right now and just go for fucking Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. I don't know, man. It's so frustrating. Like I said, I don't expect us to get a dub out of this game in Chicago. We gotta go to Chicago. I mean, the Bears didn't look good. What was that Sunday night? But that was Sunday night, right? Or was that Monday night? That was Sunday night, I
That
believe.
was something not yet.
Sunday night, yeah. They didn't look good versus Green Bay, but like I said, Aaron Rodgers is basically a part-time owner over there.
Yeah, he
So
owns Chicago. I still own you.
I still want you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, but I don't expect nothing out of us. I think it's another L. So hopefully they prove me wrong, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, if they could get a win, it would put them right back in contention for the AFC South. I
Yeah,
mean, no
so
one's winning over there besides Jacksonville.
fire
Um,
dumpster.
the next game, another AFC South team versus an AFC West team, and for this one, if there's any chance that either one wants to, still have hopes of making the playoffs, they need to win this game. So whoever wins this game, in a sense, may save their season. Whoever loses probably sets the tone for the rest of the season, where it's like, it's time to probably look for new quarterback in next year's draft or trade possibilities. And that's Las Vegas versus Tennessee, man. They got Las Vegas as 2-point favorites. The way Tennessee has looked, I would think, Las Vegas should be able to cover that, but they were blowing out Arizona last week and then dropped a complete dud in the second half. I'm expecting a bounce back game for Devontae Adams, man, honestly, because 2 catches for 12 yards last week on 7 targets.
It's not
That's
gonna be
that doesn't even seem like a Devontae Adams stat line. I know he was fed up with Derek Carr after that. I'm sure they probably been trying to get right all week in practice, so I'm expecting a bounce back from them. I don't know what his prop is yet, but I might add that because, like I said, I think he's gonna need to bounce back, especially if that offense wants to put up numbers. But how you feel about your AFC West chance, man? If they lose this one, then is it time to panic or because that's 0-3?
Yeah. Yeah. If they lose this one to the Titans, it's most definitely time to panic. The year's probably I know it's only week 3, but it's probably over by then. It's what's funny is I'm in a pick 'em and I'm actually debating about going either the Raiders or the Chiefs. I kind of want to, just play it safe and just go to Chiefs, but I don't want to take all the good teams out first. But you know, if they lose this game, it's definitely time to panic. The Titans, we've been saying, it's like we just it's like we just repeating ourselves. The Titans is not that great this year, not that good. Um, I got the Raiders in this one, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Raiders win too, but like I said, I'm gonna stay away from it because
Yeah.
it's two teams that look like they're trying to lose their hardest, honestly. So
literally.
I don't want either one of them selling me. What next game touch on my Chiefs, man. Facing your Colts. Man, the Colts last week dropped a dud. Got got blanked by Jacksonville.
It's
Now that
crazy.
there is a little caveat with that because they didn't have Michael Pittman Jr. or Alec Pierce, two of their top receivers, and Shaq Leonard's still out. I haven't heard anything about him. You might have seen the injury report, maybe, but Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce both practice today, so they're probably going to be playing this weekend. Um, the line started off around 6.5. It's now moved down to 5.5. I'm gonna take that, especially after last week. Last week, for whatever reason, like I said last episode, people were like, "Oh, the offense still sucks. Like they don't deserve to win. Mahomes should have thrown interceptions." The Chargers are a division opponent, and literally for the last 3, 4 years, every single game we play against them is close and tough down to the wire. They're the one AFC West opponent where it is a close game. The Broncos and Raiders, we blow them out basically every other game, if not every game, these past couple years. But I fully believe the Chiefs are going to bounce back this week. Gonna have a nice little game plan for that Colts defense,
Yeah.
and um, like I said, I'll take the 5.5. I think we'll move to 3-0, and then that would put the Colts at 0-2-1, and they lose this game, it might be it's kind of already panic time in Indianapolis. But if they lose this, it's really panic time, and
Definitely, yeah.
honestly, I don't know where they go. Like if Matt Ryan, he's looking old and washed up. Um, this is now their third quarterback in the last 3 years. They went Phillip Rivers to Carson Wentz to Matt Ryan now. I don't know where they could go from here besides firing Frank Reich, probably kind of trading some valuable pieces and kind of hitting reset mode because the defense is only getting older. They've been good for the past couple of years, but they're not looking that great this year. Now, obviously, Shaq Leonard can be a big reason or a big help to kind of combat that. But yeah, man, things just aren't looking good in Indy. And I know we both picked them to win the AFC South, and it's looking
Yeah.
like that probably won't happen the way things are headed and the way the team just looks right now. Jonathan Taylor last game, I think ran 9 times, 54 yards, his lowest rush count in his NFL career so far. He's not looking good. So, hey man, what you think about Indy? Is it how do you think they should go about solving their problems? Because seem like a lot of problems right now.
I think they need to run the ball way more than what they're doing. If they run the ball and just dominate the game, I mean, you got one of the top two, top three running backs in the game right now. So like, why not use him? Why not, make the whole game plan around him? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. If I was them, like I said, I'll just game manage with Matt Ryan, run that ball behind the best O line in the game right now, and just run with your running back. I mean, it should be simple as that. But hey, I'm no coach, so
Hey, if there is one route for them to upset us, this week news came out we lost our linebacker Willie Gay for the next 4 weeks. He's suspended for 4 games. I don't know why. It's from a case that's all the way back in January with his baby mama. They got in an
oh
argument dispute. He ended up breaking a vacuum cleaner in his own house. They already settled in court back then, and then to now come out with the suspension 2 games into the season, and it's 4 games. And the NFL was going to originally give Deshaun Watson 6 games for 25 plus sexual assault cases. The math isn't mathing to me,
yeah.
but apparently he can't even appeal it. It's 4 games set in stone, so we're gonna be missing Willie Gay, who's a big part of our the run stop game, and he can be a QB spot. We won't have him for the Bills game. That's gonna be his last game suspension. So how convenient, we got Colts this week, Buccaneers next, Raiders, then Bills. Nice little timing by Roger Goodell there. But yeah, if they can run the ball, that definitely might be a weak spot. I think they said Darius Harris will be starting in place of Willie Gay, but we also have rookie Chenal from Wisconsin. He's actually a pretty good run stopper, so I hope he gets a good portion of snaps in, kind of get him some experience. while he's out. But like I said, 5.5 point favorites for KC. I'll take it to the bank because I don't think that defense will know what's going to hit them. They won't know what to really expect. I think we've still been kind of running vanilla plays. Andy Reid hasn't really just opened the playbook yet. He's got some stuff dialed up, I know for sure. But
Definitely.
yeah, 5.5, take it to the bank. That's one of my picks locked in for the week. And next game, this honestly is probably the game of the week. Bills versus Dolphins. Now, this game started off at the beginning of the week. Bills were 4.5 favorites. After the Monday night game, it got pushed to 6 point favorites. And the Bills are the away team. That means if Buffalo was to be at home, they would probably be favored by like 12 points versus Miami. So
Just wild.
is Vegas trying to tell us something? Is this the week, all the Bills hype comes crashing down because all the bettors are going in heavy on Buffalo? Miami, Tua continues to make a name for himself in this league and prove all the doubters wrong. I don't know. Me personally, I'm staying away from it. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
it's
still
a trap
good.
game because at the same token, Buffalo could easily blow them out. Tua might be able to dice them up with Tyreek and Waddle. I don't know because Buffalo's defense has played great. Don't get me wrong, but Tennessee is no real threat as we've been talking about. The Rams haven't looked like the Rams all year, so this might be their first real test of the season, and that's a lot of speed to cover. And they still don't have Trey White. Ed Oliver, their defensive tackle, was out last game. I don't know if he's playing this game, but if they're missing him, that could be kind of painful for the run game too. But well, what are you leaning towards for the Bills Dolphins, man? You think the Bills cover and take the win, or you think Dolphins?
I don't think they cover. I think it'll be a very close game. Cause bro, Miami defense really not nothing to play with either. Like I said, that they play a lot of man to man defense. So I mean, Diggs gonna get a lot of looks. Gabe Davis should get a lot of looks if he plays. They'll be in man to man like a good bit of the game. So I'm staying away from this game. Just like you said, that six, man, that's a lot to be a away team. And like
Yeah.
it's versus a good football team. The Miami Dolphins are a good football team. So that's just I'm just staying away from that.
Yeah, yeah, man. And they got the over under set at 52. Two high power offenses, good defense, but at the end of the day, offense rules in today's game. Now the unders have been hitting. The unders are 24 and 10 and 1 to start off this season the first 2 weeks. I think this one has a chance of going over, especially if it's the fireworks both these teams have shown this last week. I think it has a chance to go over, but I'm just stay away from the game completely. Just enjoy it as a fan. But I would definitely be tuning into that one, going back and forth between my Chiefs in that game. Um, honestly, I wish they could have flexed that game to Sunday night. Nobody want to watch San Francisco versus Denver
Yeah,
Sunday
that's
night.
what
They could
I'm
have flexed
saying.
Buffalo Miami. That would have been a nice Sunday night game, but
I look, he's like just thinking that like in my head, I was like they should. I don't know why. Like this is a perfect game to flex.
perfect game, especially after last week. But I guess they're gonna roll with San Francisco, Denver. So it is what it is. But next up on the slate, another game we were talking about, and I think you might have a pick for this one, or you were leaning a certain way. Lions Vikings. How you feeling about that one?
I was leaning Lions +6, but I don't know, man. I think I might. I wouldn't be mad at someone if they did choose that, but I think I'm gonna stay away from that. I think I'm gonna stay away from it because I feel like it could still go either way, but I think Lions would most likely. I think they'll cover that +6, but I'm gonna stay away from it. So yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that game.
Yeah, division game, NFC North. Definitely going to be a battle. Minnesota, of course, coming off that butt whooping they just took in Philadelphia. Justin Jefferson got shut down. Kirk Cousin literally looked mediocre as ever, which he always does in primetime games. And I believe that
Oh,
loss took him back to a he's literally a 500 QB. He's 60 and 60 in his career. But
definition of an average QB, man.
definition of an average QB. But I mean, if there is one, kind of pot to look at. It's not a prime time game. It's 12
It's not a
o'clock
prime
at
time.
home. So there could be a chance, they do bounce back, but that Lions team has played everybody tough so far. They near came back on the Eagles last week and they whooped the Washington Commander, or I'm sorry, they came back on the Eagles week one and they whooped the Commanders last week. And Jeff Okuda looked really good last week. He locked down Terry McLaurin, which old Ohio State teammates. So I know there was a nice little rivalry there. Aiden Hutchinson had 3 sacks. That Detroit defense is looking pretty good. Dan Campbell got them boys rolling, and if they want to be a dark horse playoff team, this is definitely a big game for them. Win their first game in the division, and I think if they win this one, it would technically put them in first place in the NFC North as of right now, since Minnesota beat Green Bay week one. So that's definitely going to be an interesting one. I'm going to stay away from it too. I really don't know. I think Justin Jefferson should have a bounce back game. Maybe Dalvin Cook probably they should probably try to feed him a little bit more, but it'll be a nice test for that Detroit defense. They've definitely been balling out, so excited to see them moving forward. Next game, both of us we're right on line. We got the same pick. Ravens Patriots. They got Baltimore as -3. After that letdown in the fourth quarter last week, take Baltimore -3, hammer
Please
it.
take it. Take it.
Mac Jones is not going to be able to keep up with Lamar in that offense. They got away with one in Pittsburgh facing Mitch Trubisky. They won 17-14. That offense looks as stale as ever. They have no weapons. They're not using Devontae Parker, who's supposed to be the wide receiver one. Baltimore should definitely bounce back. And I think, he lost, but even last week, Lamar balled out. And he's going to continue to ball out. He's trying to get that paycheck, as we all know. And even when, Belichick had Brady back in 2019, Lamar still, they took a dub versus them. So I don't see that changing. And 3 points feels like a steal here. Bounce
Hmm.
back game for them. I love it. I'm hammering it. And, tell us how you feel. What you think going to happen in this game? You think Lamar probably goes off, or how you think Baltimore wins this one?
I think it's gonna be a complete domination. You're gonna see you're gonna see Baltimore on the defensive side just completely shut down Mac Jones. Mac Jones just doesn't look good this year whatsoever. That offense, like you said, does not look good this year. And I think Lamar, he's gonna go crazy. He's gonna show, why he should get 500. That the asking price is 500 million guaranteed. That's what he want. 500 M's guaranteed.
Hey, man, Mahomes got half a bill. He the only other MVP besides Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. And of the young QBs, that's the only other one. Josh Allen, they got his guarantee money. Dak got his. Kyler, Russ. You see how bad Russ looks in Denver, and they paid him 280, not even knowing what they're getting. Now look at him stuck with that. So yeah, man, like that meme said that I sent you last weekend. The way Lamar playing, the price of the brick is going up,
It's
man.
going up,
Like
man. It's going up.
the longer they wait, the more they're gonna have to pay. And I seen a clip the other day of Jalen Rose talking about it, and he actually made a pretty good point. He was saying, the reason they're not paying Lamar is because Lamar cut out the middleman. Usually you have an agent and they're gonna take their cut from the pay, and that's how the system is supposed to work. But Lamar said, "Hey, I don't want no agent. Everything that I'm getting, I want to come straight to me.
Straight to me, yeah.
And if you do have to talk to anybody on my behalf, call my mom. Call Mama Jackson, man." So the league and industry, they don't like that. He doing things different, doing it his way, man. But like I said, the longer they wait, the more they're gonna have to come up off that change. And if they don't, somebody's gonna pay that man. Baltimore gonna be right back at the bottom of the league because you're not gonna find another Lamar. There's no other Lamar anywhere. There's not definitely not one coming in this next draft. So they better pay that man quick and in a hurry before it gets too late, man. But I'm
Facts.
excited to see him continue to ball out. Honestly, even though they took an L right now, I got him and Mahomes 1 and 2 in the MVP race. Even though all the media is pushing Josh Allen. Bills mania, Bills mania, Bills mafia everywhere. So yeah, man, I take the -3, man. I needed sports podcast lock of the week.
Lock it in.
Ravens -3. We on the same one with that one, man. Lock it in. I
Sir.
need
I
it.
need it.
Yes, sir. And then another AFC North team, man. They gotta win this one. And I think they will. I'm not gonna
I think
bet
they
on it.
will.
But if they don't, their playoff hopes are already very slim because you start off 0-2. There's only 11% chance you make the playoffs. Bengals versus Jets, man. On paper, the Bengals should, bounce back and win.
Hey man, watch out.
But
It's still no pushover game.
that's what I'm saying. So people are expecting, them to just be a pushover, like, oh, they'll bounce back, no problem.
Shit.
But Joe Flacco been balling a little bit
That's
for
what I'm
Jets
saying.
defense. They're not a a premier defense, but they're a good defense. They can do enough. And the way Cincinnati's line is blocking, hey man, I think today it came out. It said Joe Burrow. Well, he said in the press conference earlier today, he deleted Instagram and Twitter, so he can't see anything, that people are saying. But he suspects reactions will be bad. But he said the reactions will get better as they turn things around here. They better turn things around here because you start 0-3. That Super Bowl hangover is real, man. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, man, and I'm actually excited to see. I would suspect Sauce Gardner gonna be matched up with Jamar Chase a lot,
Marquez,
and
yeah.
Gardner been doing his thing. People haven't been necessarily paying attention because of the Jets, but Sauce Gardner been locking up. So man, another test. Let's see if the Bengals can actually bounce back. But they got them as -5 favorites, man. You think they cover, or you think New York with the surprise upset? What you think?
Bro, I don't know. I don't like you said. I'm staying away from it because I feel like this might be a little toss up game, bro. I'm telling you, because like the Jets is no pushover. Like that running game is going good right now. Brees Hall is dominating right now. Michael Carter, he changed the pace back. He's looking good. And man, they got like three good receivers. They got Corey Davis, they got Elijah Moore, and they got that boy Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was
Garrett Wilson
went
looking like rookie of the year so far.
Man, what he was going keep it. He was going crazy last week. So, man, that's gonna be very exciting. Like I said, Joe Flacco. I just heard Zach Wilson's supposed to be coming back like I believe in a game or two. So he want his spot back. So he better come on because
You better
Joe
come
look
on,
good.
because if Flacco able to win some games, they might. I know Zach Wilson in the future, but hey, if they winning games, it's gonna be hard to make that switch, especially if they do and Zach Wilson looks like he did in the preseason, that first couple series before he got hurt. I don't know, man, but yeah, Bengals they're definitely on the hot seat right now. Season is on the brink. They better come to New York ready to play this Sunday because it's any given Sunday in this league, and the way they've been looking, New York Jets could easily come in and win that game, man, if they don't come correct. So next I'm gonna say this is actually an interesting game. I won't pick the Commanders, but I think Carson Wentz might go off a little bit. His first game versus his old team, Philadelphia, man. Philly, a lot of after this Monday night game versus the Vikings, a lot of analysts have been saying Philly might be the number one team in the NFC. I don't know if I'm ready to say all that just yet because they haven't played any playoff teams from last year technically, but hey man, they're in the NFC East, so they got a lot of winnable division games. This is one of them. They've been looking good. Jalen Hurts been balling out. They got them as 6.5 favorites at Washington. They might win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Washington puts up a fight and Carson Wentz throws for like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Because Washington's been throwing that ball around. Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson,
Johnson, yeah.
got Gibson out the backfield. And he won't return this week, but Brian Robinson actually started back doing some drills and stuff. They posted
Mm-hmm.
videos of that, so it's good to see he's back healthy after his incident. But yeah, man, I think Carson Wentz might ball out a little bit just cause out of spite, cause Philadelphia kind of did him dirty. I understand, he wasn't the most consistent guy, but if he doesn't start off the year, that Super year, if he doesn't start off the way he does, Philly's not in position to do what they did to make that Super Bowl run. He was having an MVP caliber season before he tore his ACL. So you think it could be a Wentz revenge game, or you take it Eagles enough?
Uh, it's another one. It's another tough one. Because I think Eagles. I think they one of the best teams in the NFC. I feel like they showed it. They've been showing it. Jalen Hurts, man. Like I said, I was one of his biggest daughters, bro. I was one of his biggest daughters,
Sure was.
but now I see the light, man. That guy, he just a great football player. Um, but I don't know. This could be Wentz revenge game. I think because it's a divisional game, I think it's going to be a very, very close game. It will go down to the end. I don't know about Wentz throwing about 4 or 5 touchdowns, but I think he could get around 2 or 3 because, like you said, they've been throwing the rock around a lot lately. Definitely in the red zone too. They just been looking at
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson. But I think the Eagles still pull it off, but it'll be a very, very close game. Like it'll probably be like a 3 point game, like a 4 point game, somewhere around there. So
Yeah, and I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, Carson Wentz is third in the league in passing yards right now.
yeah,
It's him, Flacco, and Tua.
to
So the top three, everybody suspected through week three leading the league in yards. But yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game either, and if the Commanders might still win. I know my dog Cam Swan not gonna like hearing that, but I don't know, man. Just saying, you go in riding high, think like okay, 2-0, we got this game easy, and Washington might come in and smack them around a little bit to start off that one.
yeah.
Next game, this one I'm betting on. Got the Saints and Panthers, man. Saints negative 3 point favorites, hammered. Coming off a bad loss versus Tampa Bay, a game they could have easily won. Defense was playing lights out as they always do versus Tom Brady. Jameis Winston kind of sold them. Um, I'm they got to bounce back, man. This is another division game. They can't afford to go 0-2 the division, or playoff hopes diminish severely because it's going to be hard. They definitely will be out of contention for first place, most likely for the division for sure. Because I don't see Tampa Bay losing to Atlanta or Carolina in any of those games unless they just come through and upset them. But this is a must-win game for them. Get back on track, 2-1. And like I said earlier on one of the first episodes of the podcast, man, Carolina had no business hiring Matt Rule like that. Dude had proven nothing at Baylor. He had one good season, and he still didn't even win the Big 12 in that season. And then to just give him a 7-year contract off rip, I think what's the stat that came out this week? Carolina is 1-17 in his tenure when a or no 1-24 when a team scores 17 plus points in the game. That's damn near every game. Like unless your
Yeah.
defense just plays lights out, teams are more than likely that the league average is 24 points. So as long as the league as a team plays average at best, they're gonna win versus Carolina, man. I feel bad for my boy Baker. He got traded, but I mean it's a tough situation. Don't have a good coach, not necessarily a good team. They've been struggling to get Christian McCaffrey going too, man. I think New Orleans covers, and I think they whoop up on Carolina this week because Carolina they've been playing close games, but they've been playing what I feel is bottom of the barrel teams. They got Cleveland week one, lost that by a field goal. The Giants, even though they're 2-0, I'm still not a believer in them. I need to see more. They squeaked past Carolina with a field goal as well. So 2 games, 2 3-point losses. If that's where the trend is going, definitely take the Saints by a field goal, man. So that's where I'm leaning. How you feel about this one?
I like the Saints to this one. I might add this one on. I might tell with you and add this one on because I think the Saints they'll handle business. I don't think Panthers offense will be it's gonna be ready for that Saints defense. And then also they should be getting AK back this week. I believe he practiced this week. I think he practiced today. Pretty sure he practiced today and James practiced today. So they're gonna get AK back. So I like Saints -3. I like it. I
Yeah,
think the
man.
I think the I think they're handling business. They got to, man. They like you said, they can't go down. They can't go down 0-2 in that division. If they want to win that division, they have to win some divisional games. So I think they
Yeah,
win this one.
yeah, man. So Saints in 83, y'all heard it here first. Lock it in, man. Another one on the books. Um, moving into the 3 o'clock games for this weekend. First one up, Jacksonville versus LA Chargers. This is actually a nice little matchup.
Yes.
Jacksonville, the surprise team, the AFC South right now. That offense has actually been looking pretty good. Um, I'm assuming they said Herbert was day to day after last week. I haven't really been keeping up with it. He's questionable for the game. Me personally, I'm thinking like if the Chargers, they have aspirations of Super Bowl, I say rest him. They might not do that, but I mean that's up to them if they want to mortgage their future like that. I don't think this is a must have him game. I think they could win the game without Justin Herbert technically. But that defense is for real. And I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna struggle. I think Jacksonville is gonna come back down to earth a little bit, especially after winning 24-0 last week with Indy. I think it's gonna be a struggle all game long for them. I think Bosa and Mack will get a lot of pressure on Trevor Lawrence and wreak some havoc, and then J.C. Jackson on the back end might be able to get an interception, or Asante Samuel Jr. I know he's itching to get back on the field and redeem himself from last week, dropping a couple picks. But they got the Chargers as 7-point favorites. So with that line, I'm assuming Herbert is more than likely playing because it wouldn't be that if that wouldn't be the case if he wasn't. But I'm not betting on this one. But LA at home versus a young team, no real experience just yet. They're still kind of getting their feet wet. I would take LA Chargers -7, bouncing back after they took an L last week in a game they could have easily won versus my Chiefs, man. So you think they cover the 7-point spread, or are you a believer in Jacksonville? What you thinking about them boys down in Duval?
I'm gonna go get you on this one, man. I'm gonna
Okay,
go
okay.
get you on this one. I think this might be a surprise, man. Like you said, man, I don't know why they won't just sit Herbert, but once he got hurt, he didn't really look that impressive throwing the ball versus y'all. And man, looking at this Jackson was really not no pushover game. They can really control the game by running the ball. I mean, James Robinson he's looking very good. His past 2 games, he looked very well. And then they still got ETN, so I mean, they very much could control the game by just running the ball. But Doug Peterson got them guys looking good, and also, shit. I guess Christian Kirk. I guess he was
He's
worth
wide
the
receiver
money.
one for
I
sure,
guess
man. But
I guess he was worth the money. Maybe the Cardinals wasn't using him right because boy, he looking like you said, receiving one over there. He's looking very very good. I mean, we gonna definitely see what the Jags made of this game. Definitely gonna see what T Laws made of this game. See if he ready to handle that pressure. So
yeah, because it,
hey,
it will definitely be pressure because
yes.
LA doesn't even have to blitz with Bosa and Mack, and they're gonna get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. So it's gonna be interesting to see if he can hang in that pocket and deliver some tough throws. And like I said, Christian Kirk, he's been looking good. I got him on one of my fantasy teams. He helped
Yeah,
me
me
pick up a
too.
dub last week. In another league, I forgot to sub him in, and I was pissed because I actually lost that one. And if I would have subbed him and Mike Williams in, I would have easily won the
Blow
game.
them out. Yeah. I
But
hate when that
yeah,
happens.
man. Hey, I can't be mad at the +7 pick. I'm gonna be interested. Look, as a Chiefs fan, I would love to see them upset the Chargers because it would be that much more funnier for me. But I think the Chargers can get a dub. Jacksonville might cover, but I think the Chargers walk away with a dub because they know it's at stake and they want to bounce back. They've been chopping at the bit since last Thursday to get back on the field. And I think that defense might produce 3 or 4 sacks this weekend on Jacksonville's line because I don't know if Jacksonville's line is that great, but they haven't really played a decent pass rush just yet. So they definitely gonna have a test for them this weekend, but uh, that's gonna be a good one. Like I said, I hope they lose. I hope the Chargers do lose as a Chiefs fan, but I can't see it happening right now. Next game, this one. This one is actually really interesting because I
Yeah,
don't know which way this one's gonna go. Rams, Cardinals, man. Like I was saying, Rams, they have not looked like the defending Super Bowl champ Rams yet. They came out strong last week, but then they finished really bad, almost let Atlanta come back from 28-3 comeback. We all know about the week 1 blunder where Josh Allen whooped the ass. Cardinals, they got whooped by my Chiefs week 1. Then they have that miraculous comeback last week versus the Raiders. Kyler Murray running around for 20 seconds to get a 2-point conversion. Another one where they take a 5 yard delay game penalty on the other second point conversion, and Kyler literally stands in the pocket for a couple seconds and points to like go this way and throws it in between 3 people.
crazy.
They got the dub, so you can't knock them, but is not that's not a repeatable game that they just played. So they're at home. I believe in our preseason predictions, I picked Arizona to win this game. So I'm gonna stick by my initial thoughts. I think Arizona pulls it out. I think Kyler Murray's kind of getting back into his groove. Um, he was throwing the ball a little bit more to Marquise Brown, even though Marquise Brown did have that big drop in the overtime, but he also had a nice catch before that to help them come back. That run game was looking pretty decent, and even though Kyler wants to, stand in the pocket and be a pocket passer, he's such a threat when he uses his leg to scramble or just buy time to get those receivers open. They're plus 3.5 underdogs. I'm not betting it, but if I had to, I would pick them plus 3.5. I think Arizona walks away with the upset this weekend, man. And it's early in the season, so you don't want to panic, but LA starting off 1-2 after Super Bowl, man. Kinda. I mean, they did get what they wanted. They went all out, traded all their picks away to get a Super Bowl ring. They got it, but now it's like if you can't get more moving forward, where do you go from there, man? So how you feel about this one? You think the Cardinals can cover as the dog, or you think the Rams look like Super Bowl champions this weekend?
I think this is another toss up, but I think the Rams is just a better football team than the Cardinals. I think like you said, they'll come back out and I think that in this I know it's just Atlanta, but I think that interception that Ramsey had at the end, I think that really kind of, turned things over for them because he won a game like that. But I think that really, really woke them up because they had a very good first half. They just completely fell apart that second half. But I think they'll come out, they'll show everybody, like we still one of the best teams in the NFL right now. I'm still kind of worried about staff. I mean, the elbows don't really. It's kind of scary though with the elbows, but I think the Rams come out. They show right. Like I said, they'll show why they one of the best teams in the field, and I think they get this dub. I think they will get the dub. So we'll see though.
Yeah, man, and it wasn't much, but he did target Allen Robinson a little bit more last week. He got
Yeah,
5 targets. He had 4 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Of course, his bread and butter, Cooper Cup, 11 receptions again. So depending on what his reception prop is, probably just want to hammer that every week. You'll end up plus money by the end of the season because Cooper Cup is going to get his catches. He's a great route runner, and McVay in that system, he's going to find unique ways to scheme him open and make it that much easier to get him the ball. But yeah, man. Another division game. The NFC West is kind of wide open right now because 49ers just lost Trey Lance. So even though you kind of already know what you're getting with Jimmy G, you still don't know if they'll be able to reproduce what they've done for years. And everybody's 1-1. So this is a pivotal game to start off the year, division game. It's a must-win game. You got to win division games if you want to make it into the playoffs. And Arizona at home, I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury, but
no, definitely don't. Shit,
don't trust him. But I think the
last motherfucker.
Cardinals can maybe pull it off. Um, Next game we don't even necessarily really need to talk about this one. It's the toilet bowl. The
Oh,
Falcon
dumpster
the
fire.
Falcons versus the Seahawks, man. Of course, the Seahawks came out fired up week 1 because they were playing Russ. They played out of their minds. Geno Smith had the best game of his NFL career. Then last week they came back down to earth. So they'll probably go 1-16 now, 2-15 if they can get this win. But the game is a pick 'em. If I had to pick, I think Atlanta takes it. Atlanta's
I think Atlanta
actually
do.
been looking decent. They
They
should have
are.
won week 1 versus New Orleans. They choked that game away. And then even though they started bad, they fought all the way back last week versus the LA Rams. I think they can win this game. One thing I do want to touch on before we move on, if anything else, get Kyle Pitts the ball. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Arthur Smith, what are you doing? You have a 6'6" tight end who runs a 4.40 with amazing hands, and you can't generate him any type of touches. And I'm not even saying this as a fantasy owner. I'm saying this as a fan. Like, I don't want to see Kyle Pitts. Like, I know it's if you could just get the ball in his hands, he's gonna make plays. In the press conference last week, they asked Arthur Smith if if it's if if they're gonna try to scheme him open a little bit more, or like call more plays for him. He's like, well, it's not something we're necessarily like going out of our way to do. If it's in the game plan and what we call, then it works. Like, no, you literally spent a first round pick on him in the top 10, a lottery pick. Use him.
Use
If you
him.
could find out a way to unlock all the Cordero Patterson skills after 8 years of him being in the field and nobody knowing really what he could do, you can find how to get Kyle Pitts the damn ball, man.
Exactly.
I get Drake London as wide receiver 1, but it should really be wide receiver 1A and 1B with him and Kyle Pitts. Get him some damn touches. This is unacceptable at this point. 2 weeks in, I think he has like what 3 or 4 catches for like 20 or so yards. We were real big on him coming in before the season started. I thought he was gonna, have like 6, 7 touchdowns this year. It does not look good at all, and that's like one of the one bright spots of young talent in Atlanta, and they're not even using him, man. It's kind of sad to see.
Definitely sad to see.
Yeah, man. So Arthur Smith, if you listen to this, get Kyle Pitts the damn ball. Like I said, that's all we touching on for the toilet bowl. Don't even really want to care to watch that game. But next game, man. This is that Baaad Man versus the GOAT. Tom Brady, Packers, another matchup. Um Aaron Rodgers hasn't been he's 0-2 versus Tampa Bay since, Tom Brady's moved over there to the NFC. They got Tampa Bay as 1 point favorites. Of course, they're missing Mike Evans this week because he's suspended. Green Bay got back on track a little bit last week, but I mean they were playing Chicago, so who's to say if they're really back on track? But this gonna be a real test for them. That Tampa Bay defense, Todd Bowles got them boys playing right. That offense is still struggling a little bit, but that defense, top three, top two, like depending on who you ask, man, they're looking good. And I don't know if he'll play this weekend, but they just picked up Cole Beasley on Tampa Bay,
Yeah, I
another
seen that.
slot
It's
receiver for
crazy.
Brady, man. But also, what that pickup kind of tells me is maybe Julio he's just not right. Like they
Yeah.
need some more weapons because Mike Evans is only suspended 1 game. He gonna come back. The fact they went to try to get some more wide receiver help means they need it. So yeah, man, that's gonna be. I mean, Cole Beasley, right in the prototype of that Wes Welker. He'll probably put up some good numbers. Like I said last episode, we might want to put Russell Gage in the lineup for fantasy because his production probably goes up this week. But at Tampa Bay, afternoon primetime game on Fox, do you think your bad man finally gets a dub on Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, or how you think this one plays out?
We definitely gonna see if that offense is ready to, play with the big boys. Like if those receivers, those young receivers can play with the big boys. But I don't think they win this game. I think Tampa Bay comes out. I think that defense is just way too good. I think it'll be too much for them young receivers from Green Bay. I think Tampa Bay comes in and I think they not necessarily dominate, but I think they'll win pretty easy versus Green Bay, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Tampa Bay too, and because it's a 1 point favorite or 1 point spread right now, I might have to go sprinkle on that because there's not too many times you can get a Tom Brady team at those type of odds, and they've had Green Bay's number, like you said. Still not necessarily sold about Green Bay because they didn't look good week 1, and then last week Aaron Rodgers owned Chicago, as we've stated before. So it's not like you want to put too much into that game because you expected them to do that. They did get Aaron Jones back on track this last game, but it's gonna be tough sledding to run the ball versus that Tampa Bay defense. And with that wide receiver core, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is gonna be able to, dice it up like he wants to, man. But um, you think I got a question for you. You think if he is able to win this game, do you think that changes his legacy any or helps it? Or you think it's just like he beat Tom Brady finally in Tampa Bay? What you
For
think
Aaron
about that?
Rodgers?
Yeah, you think does it help any with his legacy? That
No,
was a
no.
topic this morning on First Things First. They were saying if this was help Aaron Rodgers' legacy if he wins this game. I mean it's a week 3 regular season game. Me personally, I don't really think so, but that was a topic, so I wanted
No,
to kind of
these
get your opinion on
no, these both these motherfuckers like 40 years old.
it. It's
It's not gonna help or hurt his legacy.
yeah, that's what I was
Bro,
thinking.
Aaron Rodgers can retire right now. Like it won't even hurt or help his legacy right now if he don't win another ring. Like it's just, okay. So what? He has one ring now. So
Yeah, and I mean, for the most part, everybody expects him to retire with one ring because nobody really
yeah,
sees Green Bay
Green
winning
Bay
one since
winning.
he can't
Yeah.
win in the playoffs. That's silly, but I saw that and I was like, literally, this doesn't matter for either of them. Like, if Tom Brady loses, they can be like, oh, he's still the GOAT. He still got 7 rings. He beat Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship. And if Aaron
Bro,
Rodgers wins, they're gonna be like, well, Tom Brady beat him when it counted in the playoffs. So it literally it don't make no matter. But I sure need to get your opinion on that one because I saw that in my YouTube recommended earlier and I watched it and I was like, what are y'all even talking about? This just got to be for some clicks and attention at
yeah,
this.
it's like, bro, Tom Brady is literally taking days off for practice, like a veteran days off. Like
Yeah,
who gets that? Like who gets that? You think this guy cares about a week 3 game against fucking Aaron Rodgers? Like no, he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. This
yeah,
doesn't affect either one of these guys' legacy. So
yeah,
yeah,
man.
most definitely don't care. So
Yeah, man. Sunday night, man. This is my final pick on a game, and then I'll have a parlay I'll share once we wrap up. But San Francisco versus Denver. The line is now moved up to -1.5. I got it at -1 yesterday. San Francisco, take it to the bank, man. This Denver team is not good
not good.
whatsoever.
Not
That
good.
offense looks terrible. Russell Wilson looks old and washed up, like everybody in Seattle tried to tell us. Nathaniel Hackett looks lost as a first year head coach. He doesn't know what to do. Um, I'm surprised it's not higher, especially since Jimmy G is playing. So you kind of know, San Francisco can play well with Jimmy G. But I feel like it's a steal. I know it's an away game for them, but that San Francisco defense is pretty stout. They should be getting George Kittle back. They do have some problems with their running backs. Both their running backs, Mitchell went out week 1, and then Tyrion Davis Price just went out last week. So they're both out, but with that scheme and Shanahan, whoever's back there going to be able to get some positive yards. Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback, they can always go to him as a last resort. He can get up some positive yards. Yeah, man, take San Francisco -1, -1.5 to the bank, man. Lock that in.
Yeah.
I think they whoop Denver. Denver. I don't know what exactly is wrong or what if it's the plays they're calling, but that offense is not getting any production. I think it was last week they had a sequence where they're kind of at like the 39-yard line or so, and they're gonna kick a field goal. They get a delay of game, moves them back. They're still in field goal range technically since they wanted to kick that 64-yarder versus Seattle week 1, and they decide to punt it. And then y'all go down and get a field goal and take the lead, and it's kind of like, what is going on there? What is Nathaniel Hackett doing, man? So I'm not gonna trust Denver until they prove me otherwise, and I'm gonna fade them every chance I get now because I don't think they're good teams. So like I said, man, San Francisco, -1, take it to the bank, and uh, with that being my final pick, I put the Chiefs, the Ravens, ML, and San Francisco -1 all in the parlay plus 318. Take that to the bank as well, man. And those are my picks for NFL Week 3. That's how I'm locking it up on Sunday, man. So you think San Francisco should
Yeah.
whoop up on Denver?
Yeah, most definitely should whoop up on them. Like you said, man, we know what Jimmy G brings. We know what he can do. I mean, the best backup in football right now.
Yeah, I know
By
76
far.
so glad they paid him now, man.
Fact. Like that's the best, like I said, the best backup in football. Like I said, you know what he can do, man. He gonna come in here. They should handle the Broncos pretty easily, unless somehow the Broncos just find it out of nowhere. But I doubt that happens. So also they should get Kittle back this week. Eli Mitchell's still out, but at least they get that extra blocker in there with Kittle. So yeah, I'm with you on that bet. I like the Niners too.
Yeah, man. And then that takes us into the final game of the week, Monday night, man. Dallas at New York Giants. New York's prize team 2-0 to start the year, even though they played two bad teams. Like I said, I'm still not believing in them. They're 1 point favorites. I know you're picking on this game, man. Go ahead and tell us which way you're leaning.
Oh, I'm going with them boys, man.
Yeah,
How
y'all hear
about them
that, Dallas fans?
Cowboys?
You rolling with
How,
the boys, man.
how about them Cowboys? I'm taking the Cowboys money line, man. I'm trying to create I'm creating an agenda right now against Dak. So
You pro Cooper Rush.
I'm pro Cooper Rush, man. I'm all in the coop, man. I'm all in the coop rush, man. I need him to win this game, man. I need him to go on this little run. Like I said, I'm creating an agenda against Dak Prescott. So let's get this dub, Coop. Let's get this dub. Him and CD. Well, they got that boy Noah Brown. Noah Brown looks good. They also get Gallup back this game. He won't play a lot. He'll probably get he'll be on a snap count for sure. But I think that defense is gonna really handle Saquon, because that's
That's the
really
only
all
thing
that.
New York really got going for them. And
That's all
I
they
was gonna
got.
say that Dallas Stevens will more than likely lock him up, and I'm sure Michael Parsons is gonna get
Oh, he
back there
gonna
and
he gonna
tear
fuck
Daniel
everything up.
Jones' head off. And you know Daniel Jones, you get some pressure in his face. He good for a pick or two. He probably throw it straight to Trayvon Diggs like he
Oh
the
man,
receiver or something. So I'm with you on that one. I would rock Dallas ML. I'm surprised they're underdogs the way that defense have been playing,
yeah, me too.
and considering the fact New York is they haven't looked the best, but they've been squeaking out wins versus Tennessee and Carolina. But yeah, man, I'll go Dallas. It'd be funny though if this is like a trap game by Vegas and like out of nowhere somehow the Giants whoop up on the Cowboys. Then it's like
Imagine,
back to
dog.
square one with the Cowboys. Like man, like when we try to trust y'all, then look at y'all like man, come on. But
Imagine.
but I got faith in Dallas too. They should win this one easily, no doubt. And I know they're fired up. They got to win this one to kind of stay on pace with the Eagles right now, who have started out 2-0. That way, they can stay in contention for first place in the NFC East. But yeah, man, that wraps up week 3. Y'all heard our picks here first. We're gonna go back down and repeat, so y'all know for sure what we rolling with. Got the I Needed Sports Podcast lock of the week. Baltimore Ravens -3 at New England. Lock that shit in right now, man. I got my Chiefs -5.5. You can take it down to -5, whatever you want to do. Lock that in, man. Um, got the Saints -3. We're both in on that one. So if you want I Need a Sports Podcast second lock of the week,
Lock it
is
in.
all the Saints need to do is score above 17 points. I think they can do that, and they're almost guaranteed to win versus Carolina, man. And then Buccaneers, or not Buccaneers, I'm sorry. 49ers over the Broncos, -1, -1.5. Take that. And Cowboys ML, man. Those are the picks.
Go get
This
that
is
money, man.
Go
Go get
get
that
that money,
money.
man.
Get
Go
that
lock that
fucking
shit
money,
in.
man.
You know what you need. We got it here for you, man. Never gonna lead you astray. You know what I'm saying? Just giving you the expert picks, expert advice. You know what I'm saying? But that wraps up another episode 14, week 3 preview of the NFL, college football, week 4 preview. Some of the picks there, which I guess before I get off, I did have a college pick that parlay. I had Kansas, Michigan, OU, and UT all in the parlay plus 157. So that's college football lock parlay of the week, man. But go get that money, man. Lock all these picks in right now. Get ready for tomorrow. Get your popcorn, kick back, relax. watch what might not be that much of an interesting Thursday night game, but then tune in Sunday, man, to see how your bets cash out and wreck the bookies in Vegas this weekend, man. It's another great slate of games. NFL been going crazy, man.
Man, it
Like we
has,
said,
man.
don't matter where we at, whenever, wherever, y'all gonna get this podcast. We dedicated to the ones who show love and show us support each episode, man.
Man,
We're gonna keep busting out this content for y'all.
it
Love
has.
the love the support. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy Bryce, my dog Cam, your kids from the neighborhood signing out.
And we're knocking on your door. Can you give us something more?
I need it.